So we're going to start with the first one being the Carolina Panthers going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Saturday. That's going to be 9:30 our time at kickoff. The winner of this game will win the NFC South. Obviously, the Panthers at the minute at the top of their 8-8. The Bucs 7-9. The Bucs obviously falling short against the Miami Dolphins 20-17, and the Panthers did fall short to the Seattle Seahawks 27-10. However, I would say that Carolina's defeat is easier to swallow than maybe Tampa's is, but at the same time, Tampa are just so like battered up at the minute. That loss to Miami isn't, I suppose, out of the rounds, really. I mean, sorry, Adam. So obviously this game is highly anticipated. I think really everyone fought for this. I think it's highly anticipated because that everyone thought that Tampa would just run away with this division, and maybe that the Falcons would be challenging, and that the Panthers have sort of really, I suppose, not come out of nowhere, because they are only 8-8. That is it sort of, they win their division if they win this game, but it'll be 9-8, and it doesn't sound so, doesn't sound that sexy, does it?
No, I mean, I just quickly having a look. When you said the Bucs, they're not as banged up as what we maybe think. They've got a lot of their players back now, haven't they? They've been banged up over the season.
Yeah,
but I do feel like they're not quite as bad as what they were before. No, it's kind of
4-game loss streak as well. Just to
they've struggled, and Baker Mayfield has struggled a lot in the sort of second half of this season. I think Tristan Wirfs has kind of been missing, hasn't he? That's been a big loss for him. But I don't know. It kind of feels like this is going to be whoever sort of falls into the playoffs, kind of thing. Like neither team really feel like it's that deserving, given how their seasons have gone. Obviously, the winner of the division gets in, and that's how it works, and that's fine. But it just kind of feels like neither team are really of the standard that you would want from a playoff team, which is a bit of a shame that they're going to get in there. Having said that, when I look at the standings, there isn't anyone lower down that really is any better, I would say. So it's kind of fair enough. We all had the Bucs, didn't we, to win the division at the beginning? I think everyone said that. I remember saying about the Panthers coming second. I felt like they had more than what the Falcons had, or the Saints. But I mean, it's just I think whoever goes through and wins this, I think they're done straight away.
You tied me up for something there, sorry.
No, that's a bit remarkable, isn't it? Because
not tired, sorry.
But
if that's what you're into, Sky.
It's Christmas. Sorry, Brent.
Because Baker was playing it to open the season, people were going like early MVP. Early go for MVP. And since the bye week, they've won one in, 3, 6, 8. They've won one game in 8.
Nice.
But then
they have had a lot of injuries over that time. That is fair enough to say that. But like I say, they have had most of them back now for the last couple of weeks, and they're still losing.
But you look at the slate, Sky, like they lost to the Patriots, the Bills, the Rams. They beat the Cardinals, only just bear in mind by 3 points. The Saints, they lost to Falcons, Panthers, and Dolphins. Admittedly, all these games, bar the Rams game where they lost 34-7, have been relatively close. I mean, the Bills game was 44-32. But what's gone wrong for them in this tail end outside of injuries? Because we can talk about the injuries, but every team gets injuries. Like, it is an next man up league. Like, Baker's still a very good quarterback, and this defense has been fairly good the last few years. What's gone wrong with them towards this back end here? Just out of steam, maybe?
Yeah, I just feel like there's almost like a lack of chemistry as well, because we talk about the injuries, but really the injuries have only really been on the offense, which has been like Evans, Jalen McMillan in preseason. But when you've drafted Egbuka and then Tez Johnson was contributing, like, they still have a really strong receiver room. So I don't know if it's just a case of like the play calling issues on each side. I think Adams brought up before that potentially Todd Bowles can be on the hot seat. I think he sort of thinks he can get by in games by just dialing up blitzes and getting key stops in certain points. But so many quarterbacks in the league now are so equipped at like, you know, being able to read what defenses are going to bring to them. And I'm just thinking, okay, I've not watched, you know, loads of their games, but for example, when we beat them, Drake May was very good at deciphering that and picking that apart. And I think that whenever I've watched Tampa, I would say the play calling's been predictable, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And then they've not created turnovers to get opportunities for Baker. And yeah, that's probably where I have to see their faults.
Apologies for the start of this show. My mic's been a bit funny. I didn't realize I was on the wrong mic. Does that sound a bit better? Does that sound more clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You felt like I was in the Power Rangers, you know, when he comes through and why have I forgot his name?
Gone a bit more booming.
Yeah, you've just echoed through. Booming, unlike the NFC South.
Well, they've been without their backs as well, haven't they? But Sean Tucker's stepped up. The third stringer, he's been pretty good. I mean, they've
got depth compared to other teams, though, Fred. Like you said, with the injuries, like if someone else, like a Bucky Irving going down, Sean Tucker had a massive game. About 4 weeks ago? And like they're not removed of talent, and they're in the worst division in the league. So I don't know what excuses we can make for them.
I mean, the best thing they do on defense, they're 8th in rushing yards in defense this year. They've only allowed 1,665. That's probably been their biggest, I suppose, landmark thing that they've been building around. But let's talk about the Panthers. I mean, I'm never silent about how much I like Bryce Young and I like the Panthers. And I just think at the moment they're a bang average team doing bang average things, but doing it in a way that I quite like. In a way, does that sound silly? I don't know.
They're building, aren't they? Compared to where they were last.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think coming out and saying that they are a bit bang average is probably about right. I mean, the defense has improved a lot from last year. I think that's because it couldn't really get any worse than what it was doing last year. So I think that's helped them a lot. And it's just another year of Bryce Young. He's got McMillan, which has been helpful for him as a good wide receiver. And obviously the run game has been vital for them with Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. So I think that's kind of what's done it. They're not an exciting team to watch, but they're a functional team and they can win games this way. But I just don't. That's kind of it. So I think you're probably right in what you say in the first place.
I think it's fair to say that, you know, Dave Canales now, second year, they went 5-12, third division last year. Like, this is progress. Like, we talk about some of these coaches around this league that they should bounce or they should get rid of or replaced or etc. Like, this is this is tangible progress we're seeing from him. So he's clearly doing something right. You know, he needs some more draft cycles. They need a few more free agency periods. They need to. Yeah, if they get to the playoffs, their last playoff appearance was 2017, which was the last time they had a winning record as well. And the last time they actually won the division was 2015. And what happened in 2015 when they won the division?
The Super Bowl.
They went to the Super Bowl and Cam Newton got MVP. So I think he's to even win the division and get him in the playoffs, even at 9-8, I think is sort of remarkable work. And I don't think people would have looked at their schedule either and maybe seen 9 wins. I think, you know, maybe people have gone like 7. I know it's not a huge, you know, it's only 2 games, or even maybe potentially 1 game if they lose it. I sort of think if the Panthers don't make it, there's like immediate change that may be happening at Tampa, where there might be coaching adjustments. There might be some of the bigger names maybe shifted out of the place. Whereas I think if Carolina doesn't make it, I think they go, great, we're building, we'll reinforce next year, we'll get better, we'll get a bit younger in places. I think sort of Tampa has a bit more to lose really than Carolina, even though Tampa is trending towards a team that will lose.
Yeah. I hope the Panthers make it. And that year that you said, Fred, when they made the Super Bowl, the year prior to that, they were 7-8-1, but won the division. So I guess it's a similar thing to, you know, is in like, hopefully they make the playoffs this time. They won a game that year. Will they win one this year? Probably not. But, you know, at least they'll be in the playoffs and then see how they do going into next year. But yeah, it would be. I think as a neutral, we probably all want the Panthers to get in because, well, we don't really want a team with a losing record getting in again. Tampa did it a couple of years ago with Brady. They could actually be the second team ever to win a division with a losing record. As in, the only one to do it twice is what I mean. There's been 4 in history, and Tampa could have done it twice in the last 3 years. So, yeah, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to the Panthers either. I know it's a feel-good story. I think the rest of the NFC would rather play them as well because they haven't been in the postseason. The Bucs are banged up and have been awful, but still on their day, Baker and them could cook something up offensively.
They have experience of the playoffs, don't they?
Yeah,
they have experience. They have experience of going to the playoffs and being able to create something. A lot of their players have been there before, and hopefully we'll all want to go to again. Whereas the Carolina Panthers, it's going to be a very new situation for probably a vast majority of that team. Now, yes, the playoffs, anything can sort of happen, but I get where you're coming from with that. I mean, they beat Tampa week 16, so that last weekend, not this weekend, it's gone the weekend before, 23-20.
I shouldn't be too disrespectful because they did beat the Rams. Obviously, the Panthers had that statement win, didn't they? So they can do it. I just think it's obviously something a bit more pressure when the lights are bright.
They've had statement wins against the Rams, against Green Bay, against Dallas early in the season.
When they beat Green Bay, everyone was laughing at them as well. That was that period. I think you, Adam, will know where I'm going. They lost to the Browns and the Panthers within a short space of time.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, they've lost to 2 of the worst teams in the league. So they definitely are building something and it's positive. So, yeah, I think we'd like to see them get them done. But in a way, this is a playoff game as well, isn't it? Because it's win and get in. So, yeah.
Who do you fancy for Adam?
I mean, honestly, I don't care.
But you know what you just remind me of? Remember the famous Slavan Bilic at the Euros?
Yeah.
What do you think is happening? He goes, to be honest, I don't care.
I think the Bucs will probably come through. They're at home. They've got the sort of bigger names. I think they probably get there. But like I say, I think whichever team it is they go up against, they're going to be playing the 49ers or the Rams, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know the Panthers have beaten the Rams, but I think it's going to be different in a playoff game. It's going to feel different for everyone. And I just think they're get in and they'll be gone, whoever it is. So, yeah. I'd like to see the Panthers do it. I would, but
I think that's the same thing. I'd like to see the Panthers do it because I think it's a huge stepping stone for them. And it's.
I think you're right about the fact that if the Panthers don't get in, it won't matter so much. If the Bucs don't get in, I think Todd Bowles is gone.
Do you agree with that, Sky?
Yeah, I think he's gone as well. Because they can. Because you just got to pinpoint something, and I think it has to be the head coach. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but in that division with the talent that they have going into the season, I mean, even less than 10 wins is bad. I still think there's a case of if they win the division and they get blown out in the first round of the playoffs, he could be gone. So I think for Tampa, in a way, you know how it is as a fan, you convince yourself that you want to be in the playoffs and you want to do this and you want to do that, but it might be a blessing in disguise if they do just lose to the Panthers and then have a bit of a reset with a new head coach.
Because they've won the division last 4 years, but they've only got to the divisional round. They've not got to the NFC Championship in the last 4 years, which has been under Bowles predominantly, I believe. Obviously, the last time they did, they got to the NFC Championship. They won the Super Bowl in 2020, which is actually, weirdly enough, they came second in the division that season as well. 2019 was the last time they didn't make the playoffs. And they hadn't got to the playoffs prior to that since 2007. So it's I do think there's a bit of rose tinting glasses of we've been very relevant for actually quite a short span of time.
Yeah, when Brady came in, they had the worst winning percentage of any franchise. That was the stat in across all of the major sports, not even just the NFL.
Exactly. And It was. I was listening to a podcast earlier, and it was about the Patriots actually, and it was sort of taking the mick, going, "Oh, you know, how hard it must have been for you to have 5 bad years compared to other franchises that have been bad for a very, very long time." And it is a little bit of a flip reverse of that with Tampa. It's like, oh, you didn't get in the playoffs, okay, but you did have 5 years of doing quite well. Compared to your other, you know, like the Patriots had 20 years of being amazing, 5 bad years, and then have come back in brackets. And then vice versa with Tampa, they did nothing, got very successful for a very small amount of time. And then if they then go on to do nothing for a little bit, it's a bit like, well, this was sort of you for a while. Like, just because you've got good doesn't mean you suddenly have an earned right to sort of stay good. You know what I mean? Like every team predominantly ebbs and flows.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really feel like they ever. I mean, obviously they won a Super Bowl, but that was largely due to Brady coming in. You know, it's like, so it's not like the team itself suddenly become this all-conquering team, did it? So it's like it won that year because it kind of did what it should have done, which was basically, we're going to bring in the veteran quarterback to get us over the line. And it worked. And they've kind of like, the only real reason they've been going to the playoffs is because the rest of that division has been dire for God knows how many. I mean, since Drew Brees left the Saints, they've been awful. Since Matt Ryan left the Falcons, they've been awful. The Panthers hadn't really done anything since Cam Newton. So it's almost like these guys all went, and it kind of left that sort of space for the Bucs to be able to sort of look like they were better than what they actually are, I suppose. And so that's probably why, like you're saying, they've been good. They've been able to win playoff games, but they've, apart from that point when they had Brady there, they've never really been able to like properly kick on and continue that. And I think that what you're seeing is you're probably seeing just a team that has kind of done well through circumstance.